This is why you sabotage yourself when things start going well. We've all been there before when things are going really great in our lives, but all of a sudden we pump the brakes or we do or say things that completely jeopardize everything great that was just happening for us. But why do we do that? Self sabotage is just a safety mechanism. It's designed to keep you in a loop of what's familiar to you. Your brain loves familiarity. So every time you do the same routine day in and day out, your brain loves that. Why? Because it's safe. It knows exactly what's going to happen. It loves recurring experiences. So when you throw in new experiences into the mix, your brain automatically starts saying, okay, wait a second. What is this? Hold on, because we've never experienced this before. How about we just pause for a second and analyze this completely? And then that's when you start self-sabotaging because you start protecting yourself. Your brain starts throwing you signals saying, okay, but what if this happens? But what about that? What about this? And it just starts going crazy. So you start sabotaging yourself. And this could be for anything. Like, let's say you're wanting to apply to a new job or you're wanting to start your own business. And your brain is going to be like, okay, that's cute, but we don't do that here. What are you trying to do? And then it's going to start saying, okay, are you even qualified for that? Are you good enough for that? Do you think we could even be successful? Do you think we're even going to make it? And it starts throwing out all these scenarios or ideas or excuses as to why you won't be good at this one thing or why you shouldn't do it in the first place. That's what your brain does. It just tries to protect you. And that is why self-sabotage happens. It could be like if you want a relationship and you meet someone who finally checks all of the boxes that you've been looking for in a partner and things are going really, really well. They're everything you've ever wanted. And you start dedicating more time to this person. But then all of a sudden you're like, hold on, wait a second. And your brain is telling you, what are you doing? You're going to get hurt. Do you remember the last time you were in a relationship, you got really hurt? Or maybe you've never had an experience like that, but your friends or family have told you about their experiences of being hurt by someone. Or maybe you just heard something out in society about people being hurt in relationships. So now your brain, because that's what it's familiar with hearing about all of these failed relationships or how people might treat you badly, and it's going to start replaying that in your head. So, what does that look like in the moment? In the moment, when you're talking with this person and you're spending more time with this person, when self sabotage starts to hit, you're going to pull your energy back. And when all of a sudden you were making more time for this person because you really wanted to get to know them better, you're going to start pulling back. And when they start to notice, they're going to be like, hey, is everything all right? You seem a little disconnected. And what do you say? Probably something like, oh, I've just been really busy. Or, yeah, I just had a lot of things come up. It's nothing. But it's not that you had a lot of work to do all of a sudden. It's not that you had all of these things come up, even though that's what you're telling yourself in order to make yourself feel better and to make this other person feel better as to why you're pulling your energy back. Deep down, it's because you're scared. It's because your mind is trying to protect you from this person potentially hurting you. But if you think about it, if this person has done absolutely nothing to even raise a red flag, your brain is still going to try to find something that looks like a red flag. And so then when that person starts pulling their energy back because you started pulling your energy back first, you start using that pullback as the first red flag. And you're like, see, they're acting different. They're acting totally different. I knew this was going to happen. They weren't acting different. They started acting different because you started acting different, because you started self-sabotaging, right? And I'm using this in like a perfect scenario. I'm not saying if people are actually being hurtful towards you or red flaggish or whatever. I'm saying this in a scenario where it's actually going well, okay? And things start shifting because you pull your energy back first, they pull their energy back second, but then you use their energy pullback as the red flag. And then you use that to validate yourself, saying, see, I told you. I told you this was going to happen. I told you they were going to start acting weird. I told you something was going to happen where they showed their true colors. None of that would have happened if you wouldn't have started self-sabotaging yourself in the first place. And that's exactly how self-sabotage works. Your mind is going to throw at you all of the excuses, all of the but what ifs, all of the I'm scared. It's going to throw everything at you to get you to steer away from what it is that you actually want. So, how do you prevent this from happening? It's not even a question of how, it's a question of who. There's no special technique that you need to do in order to stop self sabotaging. The only thing you need to do is ask yourself, who am I? Who are you? Who do you believe yourself to be? Because what it boils down to is your identity. When you are someone who is constantly scared of all of the things that could go wrong in any situation, that's who you're being. That is part of you. That is your embodiment. You can't expect different results, different experiences when you are embodying something completely opposite. If you're constantly in your head about, okay, am I qualified enough for this job? Am I qualified enough to be successful with running my own business? Am I good enough for a relationship? Is this person going to hurt me? When you're constantly over analyzing all of those little things, that is who you are. When you're able to let go, break the chain from an old identity, old patterns, old habits, and see yourself differently. See yourself as the version of you that you actually want to be. When you're able to do that, that is how you break self-sabotage patterns. Because when you allow yourself, going back to the relationship example, when you allow this person who's in your life, who's actually treating you well, making an effort, showing you kindness, showing you love, showing you that they value you and they value themselves, they value this relationship. When you're able to see that clearly, without any fog, without any of the, oh, but what if? Oh, no, but what about this? Oh, no, but what about that? There is no room for you to self-sabotage. Same with if you wanted to start your own business. All of the doubts creep in as to why you're not going to be successful or why you shouldn't even do it in the first place. But when you step into the shoes of you being a business owner, how could you prevent yourself from being a business owner when you already see yourself as one? Because if you're in different shoes, if you're over here and you're saying, no, you know what, I want this business, but I don't think that I could do it. I don't think that I could pull it off for whatever reason. Then how can you be over here in these shoes as the person who does pull it off? As the person who is a successful business owner? You can't be in two different pairs of shoes at once. So which pair of shoes do you want to be in? Do you want to be doubting yourself all the time? Do you want to not be a business owner? Or do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to not have a loving and fulfilling relationship? Or do you want a loving and fulfilling relationship? Do you not want to pursue all of your goals and dreams? Or do you want to be the person who pursues all of their goals and dreams? Who do you want to be? That's what you need to ask yourself. It's not how do you stop self-sabotage, it's who. Because when you finally stand in that decision to be or have what you want, there is no going back. There's no self-sabotage. And even if you feel a little bit of scarcity along the way, that doesn't mean that you're going to hold yourself back. You're just going to continue moving forward while feeling a little scared. But all of those self-sabotage like patterns are not going to be in play when you're not being this person who allows that to happen. So if you really want to stop self-sabotaging yourself, stop asking, how do I do this? Ask, who am I being? Because that's going to give you the answer that you need. When you're being the person that you actually want to be, the person who has the things that they want to have, there's no way that you're going to act out or react in a way that does not serve you. The only reason why you self-sabotage yourself is because you're standing in shoes that do not reflect what you actually want for yourself.